Speed was the name of the game today at Indianapolis because, of course, it's the traditionally named Fast Friday, and the gimmicky qualifying boost was added, seeing speeds of over 230 miles per hour throughout most of the pack, throughout most of the day. Big speeds and an even clearer picture of which cars and teams and drivers may be going for the front row and which teams and drivers are in big trouble, and there may be some big names involved. Let's get into it.
Welcome to Fast Friday here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the one day a year, outside of qualifying, that we get the gimmicked up boost. We get to go 230 miles an hour, and boy, did they go 230 miles an hour today. You'll see it in the no-toe and also the overall times, but I can't believe it, but it may take 229 miles an hour on a 4-lap 10-mile average to get in the Indianapolis 500 this year, and that's absolutely incredible. The other thing that's absolutely incredible is that Penske is struggling. I'm just going to come out and say it. No, it's not 95 right now, at least yet, because I think there's two really easy bumps right now. But, you know, the bad qualifying form we saw from them in 2020 appears to have reared its ugly head again, and their qualifying setups just are not there. So let's take a look at the overall top six and then the fast six of the no-toe and the slow six of the no-toe, because I think that's going to give us the best indication of where everybody is relative to pole position and going home.
Okay, gonna do things a little bit differently this day because, of course, most of the day was mock qualifying 4-lap runs. So we will take a look at the top six overall for Fast Friday because there were some impressive speeds. Scott Dixon leading the speed charts at over 233 miles per hour. Dixon sure does love putting up a big number when this qualifying boost is active. He does it just about every single year. Colton Herta was second on the overall speed charts at 232, and then we see a lot of Chip Ganassi racing. Tony Kanaan at 232, Marcus Ericsson at 232, Alex Palou at 232, and Pato Award, the lone Chevy representative, at 232 miles per hour, and really looks to be one of the very few leading Chevrolet candidates for pole position. We're going to go into that a little bit later. But here's where things become a little bit more brass taxy. We've got the top six in the no-toe category, and this is quite interesting. Alexander Rossi leading for Andretti Autosport. He was fast in the no-toes in race conditions, and now once we're getting to that qualifying boost and qualifying trim level, Alexander Rossi, fastest once again, 231.5, and I really do think that Rossi's going to be certainly a contender for victory. Another driver who's been fairly quiet, especially up next to his teammate Takuma Sato, Graham Rahal, second on the no-toe charts at 231.5 miles per hour, but I think a lot of us believe that Rahal is going to be very much a threat to win. In fact, all six of these drivers really may be the top of your pools, let's say, if you're going to be making a bet. Scott Dixon, again, not quite as fast as he ran with a draft, but he's right up there at the front. I would not be surprised whatsoever if he's a front row contender. Takuma Sato, defending winner of the race. That car looks extremely consistent. Remember, it's 4 laps to qualify in Indianapolis, not just 1 lap. So in some ways, these charts can be a little bit deceiving, but that car is extremely consistent. Another car that's extremely consistent is the one that is piloted by Colton Herta, the Gamebridge car, 231.3 miles per hour. But looking at these six, certainly you could believe that this may well end up being the first 2 rows of this year's Indianapolis 500. It may just depend on what order they are rolling off in. Now, Fast Friday, the back 6 in the no-toe charts. We're not even going to bother with the back 6 in the toe charts because this is what matters. And what matters here is there are 2 Penske affiliated cars at 229 miles an hour. Simona Di Silvestro at 229.4 were the slow 5 shootout, the bump day, so to speak, session happening. She would have just made it in on the Saturday. So she would have locked herself in tomorrow if she can get to 30th. But of course, today wasn't the qualifying day. So had qualifying happened today, these would have been the bottom 5. Sebastian Bourdais for AJ Foyt Racing. I mentioned that I was a little bit worried about that team yesterday. 229.4. This would have been a bottom 5 speed. Will Power, Team Penske, they are not happy with their qualifying setup, or at least Will certainly isn't, as is apparent with his 32nd fast no-toe of a 229.1. Max Chilton, who looks so fast, looks so good in the no-toes in race conditions, unfortunately looks like he really hasn't gotten the handle on it at 229.0. However, kind of again, if they qualified today, he would be on the bump spot, but he would be safe in the field. And these are the 2 cars we're really concerned about right now. Charlie Kimball for AJ Foyt Racing at 226.7 no-toe time, and RC Anderson Top Gun Racing. We know that's been an uphill struggle. The team is clawing their way up there. They're at 226 miles per hour, but they've got to find, I think, at least 3 miles per hour, and they've got to be able to do that consistently, and that is going to be a major struggle. So we've got some big names, as usual, in the mix here potentially to get bumped from the starting field.
Okay, so given that information, we can glean a few things. Again, like I said at the very beginning, yes, Penske's in trouble, but I don't think it's very nearly a 95 situation right now. I think it's really pretty academic. If Kimball and Anderson don't find any speed, they're the 2 that are out. Fast 9, that's quite interesting. I think you probably have 15 cars that I think people would peg as cars that could get into that shootout for the pole position that we'll see on Sunday. My thought is, and I'll give you 9 names, I hope I can remember all of them, but I think all 4 Ganassi cars are going to make it, so that's Dixon, Kanaan, Palou, Ericsson, not Anderson, Ericsson, and then I think you're going to see 2 Andretti cars. I think those are going to be Herta and Rossi. I think you're going to see 2 cars from Ed Carpenter Racing. You're going to see Rinus VeeKay, who has looked extremely strong, and also Ed Carpenter, and I think rounding that out, I think you're going to see Pato O'Ward, who, it seems like McLaren's kind of a 1-car team right now because Montoya and not Ericsson, who's that other Swedish guy? Rosenquist aren't quite there right now. So that's kind of what I'm feeling. There's some cars that look really good. Oh, Sato and Rahal. Those are the other 2 I wanted to mention. Sato, how could I forget? The defending winners of this race. Sato and Rahal, I think, are going to round out that Fast 9 because I think looking at the lines of the cars today, I think the Andretti cars look extremely strong, particularly Rossi, Herta, and Wilson. They look really fast when they come through here. And by the way, I think Stefan Wilson's doing a fantastic job. I don't think he's quite going to get in the Fast 9, but the fact that the guy is part-time and coming out here and cranking out 230-mile-an-hour laps pretty consistently, I think that's notable. I think Takuma Sato looks extremely strong. I think there's a certain possibility that he could qualify in the pole and potentially, it's hard to say run away with the race in the current environment where it's so hard to break away. But I think Takuma Sato is a really likely candidate to get his 3rd Indianapolis 500 win. Scott Dixon's the other one that you just kind of look at and go, yeah, that car is absolutely hooked up. Pole speed tomorrow, that's going to be a question. So pole speed this weekend, that's going to be a question. It seems like pretty consistently, and this apparently is going to be pretty close to the track conditions, hot, that we will see throughout this weekend. So I kind of think that we're going to see around a 231 mile per hour pole speed, maybe getting up there, maybe 1 lap cracking 232, but you're going to need a really, really special lap to be able to do that. I think the bump speed or the bump average, I don't think it'll be quite 229. I think you're going to need about a 228.5 to get in this race. The problem, of course, that I think a lot of people are looking at the single lap speeds, particularly when I was like, man, I wonder if a 229 is going to be what it takes to get in this race. there are a lot of inconsistent cars. Like, for example, a lot of the Foyt cars who I thought were in trouble, and I still think Kimball's definitely in trouble. Like, Dalton Kellett will go out there and run a 230 mile an hour lap, then drop off to 228 on 2 laps. So I think it'll average out that the final position will be 228.5 miles an hour. But here we go. We're about to set the field of 33 for the 105th running of the Indianapolis 500. Thank you guys so much for watching Fast Friday coverage. Boy, that was a lot of information. I'm tired. I can't wait for qualifying weekend. We'll see you in the next video.